Greetings and welcome back to another CVMSDC Virtual Capabilities Briefing. Our special guest today is Marguerite Zahovich of Hawley Receptionist. I'm your event producer, Taya Bolton, with the PR Pros team. We have an informative session planned for you today, and we are so excited to get started. Before we do get started, I'd like to just cover a little bit of housekeeping with you. All of our audience participant lines are muted. However, you can submit a question using the question box feature in the GoToWebinar dashboard. It's usually marked on the right-hand side of your screen. Also, today's session is being recorded and will be available for you to review and share with your colleagues post-event. You can view this recording from the CVMSDC website at cvmsdc.org/webinars. Now, I'm pleased to introduce our CVMSDC President and CEO, Dominique Milton, to open up today's session.
Thank you, Taya. I am Dominique Milton, your host for today's VCB. We have designed VCB's virtual capability briefings at CVMSDC to allow our MBEs to be able to pitch their businesses to their customers during this time where they can't meet face-to-face. So today I'm very excited to bring to you Marguerite Zahovich of Hawley Receptionist to share her how she founded her company and how she can help you with answering your phones. So without further ado, Marguerite, I'm going to read your bio and then I'm going to come off screen and let you have at it. Okay?
All right.
All right. Marguerite Zahovich is the founder and president of Hawley Receptionist in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is a virtual receptionist company. As a full-time college student, her first experience as an entrepreneur was a commercial cleaning company that she started with only $35 and grew to earning 6 figures annually in less than 3 years. That is impressive. She was named Neil Smith Entrepreneur of the Year for the state of Iowa in 2007. The mayor of Bettendorf, Iowa declared March 7th as Marguerite White Day and was a recipient of the Business Journal's 40 Under 40 Award. She holds dual degrees in marketing and management. And so I am so excited to bring to you one of my favorite MBEs who is always on the ready. And she actually answers the phones for CVMSDC. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Marguerite, and I will come back for Q&A.
Thank you. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. I'm so excited to be here. I'm usually not nervous because I talk on the phones all day, but I'm a little nervous right now. So please forgive me. So welcome to Hawley Receptionist. We provide virtual receptionist services to companies across the country, and we sound as if we're in the client's office. So I will start with a little bit. Let's start with my slides here. So we're 100% US based. Our team works right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We all work out of our office here, right off of I-77, right South Charlotte. And what we do is we provide, professional customer service to different types of industries across the country. That enables our clients to save time and utilize their team for more income-producing tasks. We invest in smart technology, and our team is highly trained, so that way they know how to answer your calls and process those calls according to your instructions. So our core values, we have 5 core values that we stand by here at Hawley Receptionist that really drives us and how we do our work every day. Create community, foster happiness, and I'll pause there for just a moment. So fostering happiness, one of the main things that people hire us for is because they like that human interaction, and they like it when their clients and potential customers receives a happy voice on the other end of the call. Somebody who's smiling and ready to assist them as much as possible. Commitment to excellence. We handle literally hundreds of calls a day. So that's a lot of processing. That's a lot of it's very detail oriented, documentation, identifying the right caller, and making sure that according to that client's profile, that we're processing that call accordingly. So we are committed to excellence on every single call. Grow. We are a small business, and one of our main things is to grow the company, way more than what it is right now, but it takes time. We've been in business for almost 6 years, and growth is one of our main things. And the only way that we grow is, providing excellent customer service. The average lifetime of a customer is roughly 6 to 8 years in this industry, and we are proud to say that over 50% of our clients have been with us since we started. Innovate. So we're technology-rich business. Even though we are in our office, we do have to use very up-to-date technology, up-to-date equipment and supplies to make sure that we are staying in touch with, changing trends and our customers' needs. And then back to create community. So we work when we work as a team. It is very, very team oriented, because one Holly might take a call from a person and then that person might call back, but they really don't know a lot about the call. Well, they might ask another Holly to, if they have spoke to that person, then we'll just connect them again. So, we work really well together. We even have teams that work from home as well. So it doesn't even feel like they're at home because they work so well with the technology that we have. So here's the challenges that we solve at Holly Receptionist. One of the main reasons that clients hire Holly is that they are missing calls. So missed calls means missed opportunities. Whether it's a law firm or a carpet cleaning business or a property management company, their average ticket varies. Our clients' average tickets vary. It could be a ticket where it might be an $80 call, and then we have clients where one lead might be a $20,000 lead call. So it just depends on the client. But either way, no matter the business, if you're missing calls, then you're basically missing money. And about 80% of people who call a business that reach a voicemail, they're going to hang up and call the competition. And you really don't know how many calls you're missing because they're not leaving a voicemail for you. So it's really important to capture that call. And get that human being on the phone. Lack of human experience. So there's a product that you all have heard of. It's a process. It's basically a phone tree. So when somebody calls into a business, sometimes people don't like to get a phone tree, meaning press 1 for this, press 2 for sales, press 3 for services, whichever. They just want to get to a human being that can help them. Low productivity. Low productivity, clients hire us because they may be some of our smaller clients, and what they do is they don't have office staff, so they're busy trying to answer calls or do the tasks that we can do for them, and they need to be working on more income producing tasks to grow their business, so their productivity is low. Also, productivity for our larger clients who have office staff who can answer the phones, well, they don't want their staff to be interrupted every 5 minutes for the exact same phone call, and answer the same questions that Holly can answer for them. So that's one of the reasons that clients hire us as well, and that's a challenge. High staffing costs. Well, it is important to answer the phone, and it increased their staffing costs if they have to hire people in-house just to answer the phones and do other things. So they try to outsource some of that piece to Holly. And I'll get into later in our presentation and how people, the ways in which clients can hire and use our services. So here's an overview of Holly Receptionist Services. So customer support. So basically that's going to be providing information to callers, whether giving them information about a property, giving them information on pricing, and obviously following the client's protocol and procedures and providing that person with information. Detailed message taking. That's going to be where we're gathering information for the client. And they say, well, Holly, I need you to ask these 5 questions and then email or text that message over to us. So we can do that as well. We can do detailed message taking and customer support services for all types of businesses. We also offer what's called customized routing and transferring. So we have some clients who actually just hire us to be that operator. They have so many calls coming in, but those calls need to be diverted to the right department. And what that does is that saves them on payroll costs because they don't have to have someone sitting there directing those calls and triaging those calls as well, identifying who they are, and then processing those calls and sending those to where they need to go. So we're able to do that as well. Appointment scheduling. So some of our clients, they like appointments booked directly on their calendar. We're able to do that as well. Depending on the industry, depending on the service, we are able to identify who that caller is and then go ahead and book that appointment for that client right away. And that way they don't have to call the person back to book the appointment. Holly can do that for them, and then they'll receive a message within 15 to 20 minutes after that call came in, just confirming that we took the message and that we booked an appointment for them. So we'll go into a little bit more of our inbound answering services. So customer support, which I talked about, detailed message taking, operator services, call center services. So even though we're virtual receptionists and most of our clients are more medium-sized businesses, we do provide call center services to larger companies as well. So they might have a call center, but we actually provide like backup call center services for them. So if they have a staff of 10, but they have 50 calls that come in an hour, it's important for them to still have that customer service. And so what we do is we can provide that backup answering service for them, and that way their staffing levels and their wait times go down for their customers that are calling in. So help desk, that's pretty much providing information to callers, reservation line, intake services. So intake services would be any kind of industry where it's a process to onboard a new customer. So for our law firms that we have, we do a process called intake for them. So it's basically a list of questions and really getting all the information that we can prepare for our clients. So by the time our clients get it, they have a full picture of what that potential client profile looks like. And that saves them a lot of time, especially the paralegals at those offices. Again, we have appointment scheduling and dispatching call transfers. So let me pause on transfer. So there's two different ways to transfer a call. There's one that's called a warm transfer, and the other one is called a blind transfer. And we can do either for the client depending on their profile and what their needs are. So a warm transfer would be where we are going to put the caller on hold and then attempt to transfer to our client. And we will put that person on hold. We'll say, okay, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Give me just one moment. May I place you on a brief hold and see if Chris is available? Then what we'll do is we'll call Chris. Hi, Chris, this is Holly. I have Mr. Johnson on the phone. He's interested in XYZ. Would you like to take the call? And Chris can either say, oh yes, Holly, that's great. Yeah, go and send him on through. Or Chris can say, oh, you know what, Holly, I'm finishing up a meeting. If you could let Mr. Johnson know, I'll call him back in 30 minutes. And then we'll hang up with our client, and then we'll go ahead and get back to Mr. Johnson and let him know what the client said, or we can go ahead and connect that caller directly to our client seamlessly, and the caller never knows that Holly's not sitting in the office. So lead capture qualification. We do provide lead capture. That's, bringing in a new call and identifying that that is a potential new lead for that client. Now, some of our clients want us to do a qualification process, meaning ask them these questions, and that will let me know if I want to move forward with this potential client. So we can do that as well. And we can set up hotlines for different industries. And those are inbound answering services. So we also provide outbound calling services as well. So customer service surveys, market research, data and list cleanup, meaning we will get a list of people that we need to call and verify their information or update their number or email or things like that in our client's database. We can do that as well. Direct mail follow-up. If a client is doing a direct mail campaign, they will most likely have a list of who they sent their information to, and then they will ask Holly to go ahead and do a follow-up call. Appointment confirmation, that's one of our more popular outbound calling services. We have several clients who are in the medical industry, and so what we do is we will call those their clients, their consumers, like a day or two before to confirm that they're going to make it to their appointment on time and that there's no questions and that they'll definitely be there. And then also an after-sale follow-up. We can do that as well. We have a security company where after they would do an install, we would call them and run through a couple of questions just to, let them know that we appreciate their business and we're doing a follow-up just to make sure the systems are running right. They have any questions about any technical questions we can help them with and things like that. So that's the after-sale follow-up outbound call. So there's many benefits to hiring Holly, and having a full-time receptionist is great. They like it. Depending on the size of the business, it takes away that having to answer the phone calls all day. We can take care of that for them. Freeing up time to grow their business. So a lot of our smaller clients, they're in the process of growing their business and they're out in the field and they're talking to customers, and that gives them the freedom to not worry about, if the phone calls are going to be answered, they can focus on growing their company. Cutting down on administrative costs and personalized service for your company. So basically the personalized service will be from answering the phone all the way to processing the call. eliminates payroll costs and hiring headaches. It creates the illusion of size. So a lot of our smaller clients, again, they may not have a receptionist, or they can't afford one at the time because they're really small. But what Holly does is that provides their callers the image of that, this company is larger, they have a receptionist, it's an illusion of size. I'm not losing potential customers. That's really important. And one of the things I try to grab when I'm bringing on or onboarding new customers is, why are you hiring Holly? What is that one thing that we can help you with, and what's the reason that you're hiring us for? Cultivating happy customers. So some of our larger clients, it's very important about customer service. They don't have the issue of having staff. They have plenty of staff, and they may have 5 or 6 receptionists. However, it's really important for these clients to make sure that their callers are getting a human being and an upbeat person on the phone that's willing to help them. Even if we are not able to get them to the right person within the company, at least Holly took the call and we gathered the information, and that person has been taken care of. Having a business number without fees, that's just the technical thing. We can provide numbers, and clients can forward calls, whichever. We work with you on that. Also, we're really flexible. So our clients, their businesses change all the time, from account users to their services to updating their pricing. It's always changing. We live in a changing, fast-paced environment, and so we're flexible and we're prepared to handle those changes for our clients. So let's talk about how it works. Basically, how it works with Holly is, first, we like to understand your business. We basically put together a profile, and you go ahead and you let us know what call groups are going to be calling your phone line, and what calls that Holly's going to be answering. So what we'll do is we'll build that out, and that tells us how to process your calls. We're going to develop your profile and make sure that you're okay with that. We get your approval on that, and then we start answering your calls. Once we start answering your calls in the name of your business, then we process those calls. And depending on your profile, we're either going to take a message, provide information, book an appointment, or sometimes all 3. And so then we take action, and then we report to you. So there's 2 different ways in which Holly will keep you in the know. You can either choose between a email message, so we'll dispatch an email to you or your team or whoever it needs to go to, or we can dispatch by text messages. We have a client that is in Texas, and they have over 50 employees, and they prefer to have all of their messages text out. So we're able to text those messages out as well. So this is the way you can use the service. So our clients use our service in 3 main ways, and that the first way is going to be part-time as needed. That's where our clients who are a little bit smaller are going to just turn on and turn off the service as needed. So if a client's on a roof or they're in a meeting, they might turn it on for 2 hours, or they might turn it on during lunch, or they may have a staff member who leaves at 2 o'clock every day. They may turn it on at the end of the day. It's really flexible. The clients choose how they use the service. That's part-time. The second way is going to be our call rollover. That's where the calls will ring to the client first. So the client may want to have themselves or their staff have the opportunity to answer the phone, whether it be ring once or twice to their office. And then if nobody picks up, then it will ring to Holly, and Holly will pick up the call. So that's called call rollover services. And then the third way is going to be full-time. Back up here. It's supposed to be full-time, sorry. Full-time services, and that means every call that comes into the business is going to be answered by Holly receptionist. So that's all day. We're open from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and every call that comes in will come to Holly, and then we'll process those calls accordingly. And here's a couple of our testimonials. This is Mr. Jared Goforth. He is one of our longest clients that we've had, and you can see what he said here. So the main reason that Mr. Jared hired Holly was because he has staff that's out in the field, and we did appointment setting calls for him at one point, but now just answering calls. And so, being able to staff his team members in different areas of the city, getting them to the right area, also doing outbound calls to confirm the appointments. They do home inspections and pest control services. And then this is Brad with Timberline Property Management. Basically, they are a very busy office. They're in Colorado. And he said basically within the first week, they were renting homes faster. and they had more showings than they've ever had, and he received 2 new customers, and over the course of a year, that value for him was $30,000. So he saw his return on his investment immediately. And then we have Hands Law. So Hands Law is a very busy law firm here in the Charlotte area, and we provide answering services for them. We assist they have a full-time receptionist, but she, sometimes gets overwhelmed, and so we're able to provide her backup services. So that's going to be the call rollover and that customer service piece, which is really important to them. And then Charlotte Insurance, they have 3 offices here in Charlotte. They're a very big office, and they're very busy. And so the reason that they hired us was because they were missing calls, but then also on top of that, they weren't sure how many calls, how many potential customers they lost, because some people won't leave the voicemail. So their main thing is capturing those leads for those new insurance quotes, and that's why they hired Holly Receptionist. So let's do the numbers. We did a study and did a survey of our clients, and we found out that 22% of our clients found a boost in new leads, that they found that they were saving 10 plus hours a month of distraction-free time, that they gained back every month just by having Holly answer the calls. And then they feel like they have over 10% of increased customer happiness. So that means their customers, by the time they're getting back to those customers, if we have to take a message, those customers are happy because they were able to speak to a human being, and we're able to provide that information for our clients. That way, by the time they call them back, they're already prepared, they have all the information, and they can help that client move forward. So here's a list of the industries that we serve. It ranges. And that's all I have right now. So thank you so much for listening to Holly. It's short and sweet, but it's pretty simple. We answer your calls with a smile, and we're ready to help process your calls.
Excellent job, Marguerite. And I know firsthand the value that you bring to the table. So thank you for servicing our needs. I know that there's been times when you've tried to track me down to get in contact, to talk with a client, and really saved us some money. So I really appreciate your leadership there and the services you provide. So I don't have too many questions, but I'm sure from the field there's some questions. Kaya, do you have any questions coming in?
Indeed, we do. And thank you for that amazing presentation, Marguerite. One of the questions is, can you share a little bit more about the way your contract process works in order to work with you?
Absolutely. So basically with Holly Receptionist, we don't have long-term contracts. It's just basically month to month. We have a terms of service that we ask our clients to fill out. Basically, it's how we do business, how we bill, what you can expect from us, and what we can expect from you. But basically, it's just a month-to-month contract.
Okay, perfect. And then if someone wanted to forward their lines, how would they do that? Is it using their own technology, or do you provide that technology?
Okay, so that depends on the client setup. If they have like a physical landline, it's a basic phone that it's a basic process that you go ahead and press, and then you forward the calls. And then if they have a VoIP system, they just have to go on their platform and set the system up to where the phones will ring over to Holly, depending on their needs, depending on how they're going to use the service.
Okay, perfect. And I do have one more question. How do we know if we need a virtual receptionist?
Right. So, well, there's several ways you can find out if you need a virtual receptionist. If your teammates, well, first of all, if you are not, you find yourself trying to hurry up and get back to a caller who wants to do business with you, but you've lost the call. If you find that a lot of your calls are going to voicemail and they're either your customers or potential new customers, and if your staff is overwhelmed. So staff retention is one of the reasons that clients hire us as well, is taking that extra work off of their plate and letting Holly answer their calls.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And
You have
go
another
ahead.
one? You have
I'm
another
sorry,
one?
one final question. Your answering services, I know other VoIP systems will send like an email message if someone leaves a voicemail. How does someone receive the messages when you transfer them or receive them or send them out?
Okay, yep. So our dispatching is either through email or text. So the client will get a message detailing the person's name, their call group, meaning are they a new customer? Are they a current customer? Are they a tenant? Are they an applicant? Are they a vendor? If they're a vendor, what company that they're with. So they'll get all that information. Then in the message part, they will go ahead and we'll explain what it is that that caller is needing, wanting, or has questions about. And then they'll receive the contact information to give that caller a return call.
Beautiful,
Perfect.
thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Are there any ideal clients for you? And I want ideal size. You said you usually focus on mid-sized clients. Is that where you want to really focus and stay?
Yeah, so for our virtual receptionist services, mid-side clients are great. We, help them grow their business. Somebody who is definitely needs that call rollover. They're busy, it's repetitive. And then for our call center backup services, those can be multi-billion dollar clients that we're providing those backup services for them, for their staff in the call center.
That is perfect. Well, it has been a great presentation today, Marguerite. And I'm sure a lot of people call you Holly, right? I always have
They
to
do.
pause before, right? So answer this one last question for us.
Yeah.
We should call Holly Receptionist when?
When you can't answer your phones.
I love it. I love it. Nice and simple. Nice and simple. Well, that is a wrap today. Thank you all for listening to VCB. If you are in need of a VCB session, please email us at info@cvmsdc.org, and we will be able to fit you into our schedule if you are certified MBE with cvmsdc.org. Also, I want to bring your attention to a conference that we have coming up December 2nd and 3rd. Please visit our website at cvmsdc.org to register today. Registration is open, and it is open to anyone that wants to attend. We're going to have workshops. There's 11 workshops to choose from. We're going to have matchmaking if you're indeed certified. This year, we've added construction matchmaking. We have an awards ceremony. We have an auction, and we are just excited to bring you this powerful information to help you as business owners pivot into 2021. So we look forward to seeing you December 2nd and 3rd virtually. Thank you for joining us today. Marguerite, excellent job, and it is a wrap.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, Taya.